usually I bought these heads off the Van Halen camp, so I got some really early Ampeg stuff. I was always a big fan of, like, say, Michael Anthony and stuff. I grew up in Pasadena area, and so I watched Van Halen play backyard parties to their first album, and so it's just a huge influence on me, Michael Anthony. And they were nice enough to part with some of their heads, and so I got a couple old 69 Ampegs that I'll record with. If I'm subbing some stuff out, I'll use the Ampeg SVT4 Pro, or I got some really growly SVT2 Pros. And when I'm in the studio, I'm not using any pedals. I don't use, when I'm live, I'm using a SansAmp pedal, and I don't even like the rack one. I like just the old school pedal, and that's mainly, the only thing I'm using that for is really for my in-ears, It's not really the tone that's coming out front. We distorted out front of house now. But yeah, when I'm doing distortion in the studio, I'm using a 63 Fender Bassman head and a 212 cabinet. And what I do is I just plug it in, and then I turn every knob as loud as it'll go, every knob all the way up, and we put it in a room off to the corner. That's what's wonderful about these sort of big studios like Ocean Studios here, is you can get good separation and stuff, So yeah, I don't use a whole lot of stuff. We compress it a little bit. At that point, it's up to the producer what he wants to do and how he stacks stuff, But my job is just to get a solid bass tone to him, and it's so easy to get those tones when you're working with a good instrument, because I've struggled in the studio with basses trying to make them sound good, even if they play great. And it's like, oh, I really, really, really like this one. Even Warwick's, there's been a couple ones that I don't use in the studio, because I just can't get them to sound exactly like I need them to in certain instruments. I have about 5 or 6 that I rotate in the studio, some for just big whole notes, and others for fast stuff, or there's certain basses I'll use just for finger playing, and there's other ones that I'm using when I'm slamming, bass chords and picking real hard and aggressive, So it all depends on the song, I'm really loving these Starbase 2s that they made, and yeah, we've actually been using these in some of the videos lately and things like that. So they're just a really good quality instrument, But I find that less pedals are better for me as a bass player, anyways. And then the guitar players get in there and they always overthink, whether it's the Zach Wilds or Nancy Wilsons or Jerry Cantrell's, or I've done records with Slash or Chris DeGarmo from Queensryche. Each guy, it's pretty amazing to watch other people like work and the differences between all these guitar players. So my goal at the studio is to get in there and translate, bring some personality and some attitude and tone into the song, and try to blend it in with the guitar players and the singer-songwriter guys' vision to their album, and that's my job as a bass player, and I try to just stay out of the way, and I think that it's easier to manipulate these basses when you could just plug right in, and you plug in and the producer goes, okay, cool, that sounds great, let's track, and over the years, I used to love going to the studios, and I love coming to this studio because Greg is one of my brothers here at Ocean here, and I love visiting with old friends and going to these studios, but over the years, I've learned to just, it kind of drives me crazy. It's an unnatural setting. You're in these places, you don't see the sun for months at a time. And so I tend to just go do my bass parts and then get out of the way and then come check in every week or so, or every couple of weeks, or every couple of days, and make sure that, I don't have to change a part, or, we're going to lift transpose a solo, and now we're up, and so now I got to redo some stuff, or, it's always interesting work in progress. But, I think that for bass players, shouldn't overthink. You just get a good solid bass tone in the studio, and then let the producers and start stacking stuff over the top. Because if you end up with a crap bass tone, no matter how many 6 guitar tracks they put on top of it, it's still not going to sound right. And it's the kind of thing you don't even notice it until later. You realize, like, wow, I could have done better on that track. You know, I don't want to like mention what songs on what albums. You know, I think at this point I've done like 20 or 30 albums at this point. You know, and but there's certain parts that are my favorite. There's certain producers that were my favorite, and you know, I tend to know what I like more now, and it makes it a lot easier for everybody involved if you just walk in as a pro. You know, prepared. I usually use these with songs like with an acoustic kind of flair to it, like Nutshell, for instance. There's a song called Your Decision where I use it with the volume pedal, and I'm playing some real high stuff and getting a really good vibrato and bringing in the pedal, so it gives it a cello kind of sound. So I cheat a cello sound with that live. And the song No Excuses, things that are jangly and have more of a kind of acoustic kind of feel. But that being said, when I'm in the studio, I've been using this at home lately, and these pickups here, just really interesting. I've been getting a really good growly tone out of them, you know, and it's really a different sort of sound, you know. So I'm kind of at a spot with Warwick right now where they're beautiful new factory, you know. They're coming up with a lot of new stuff. So now that I have some time off the road, and prior to us recording the next album, I'm hoping to get over there and really explore some of the new stuff that they got going. You know, Hans Peter, just a beautiful human being, and he just really has pride in workmanship. The company he's developed and acquiring Framus, and the quality of Framus just went up too. And just their award-winning factory and just everything about that company is just good stuff, you know. And yeah, I'm hoping it always stays that way, you know. It just breaks your heart when you see some of these old companies, you know, trying to suck more bottom line out of their companies, and then it just goes down. And you know, I don't want to mention, but I was at a Guitar Center 2 days ago up in Valencia, by our house, and yeah, I was looking at this bass, and it's just like you could just tell there's glue coming out, and just like the neck's not set right, and you know, you end up having to buy these basses and then having to, you know, take them to a guy, and it costs $500 to get them playing kind of good. And I don't think the woods are as good. That's one thing I love about the Warwick basses, is that their wood selection and the fret selection, and just the little details of these basses are good. And you know, I just hope that they continue. I don't see them changing, though. They're such a good German company. You know, those Germans, very, very crafty.